Let's get busy.
Hey guys, shooting from the lip here. Second podcast of the night. Did an earlier one with Gary Fox, Dan Try, Talking Apron Inc., and Chef in the Box here in town. Doing the music thing. My man, Aaron Crane. Aaron, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? Thanks for
How are
having
you?
me. I'm good. I'm good.
Good to see you. Big fan of what you do, your music, songwriting, your skills, and you're one guy that for some reason has eluded me. I've not been able to have a great conversation with you, so I'm very happy that we can hang out tonight. So
Me too. I'm busy. I'm always. I'm not one really to. I like the behind the scenes thing more than I do being out front.
oh, so you're more of a VH1 behind the music guy.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna tap in and see if you got some of the great VH1 behind the music stories. Because you've been in the music scene. You've been doing music for a while.
Oh yeah.
How long are we talking about?
Wow, I think I did my first gig when I was 15, like 1977, probably. Yeah. So, yeah, I've been doing it a while.
I know one time we got to hang out. I don't know if this is breaking the guy code by bringing it up. It was a lunch. We have that separate little group on Facebook, but
Yeah.
how was it? Manning and Carl Stuck, and a lot of cool cats in town.
Monday Crew.
What is it?
Monday Crew.
Monday Crew, yeah. So, and good people there. But yeah, let's kind of go back. You talked about music, just maybe when you're 15. But what was when music started to come, be an important thing in your life? What was some of the influences? Why music?
It's weird. I always thought that my singing ability was everybody could do that, and I was informed otherwise when I was 15, about 15 years old, and then when I started playing, I noticed that the girls started hanging around lunchtime when
all about the chicks. Go on and get it out of the way right now.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, didn't hurt my feelings that I had 15, 20 girls sitting around lunchtime.
See, now you're bragging. There's a difference.
So I thought, well, maybe this might be for me.
Yeah, might be for me. So this was, I guess, during high school, your high school years.
Yeah.
And then you're all your hormones rushing, and you got all this attention from, a few of the pretty ones too.
Yeah, because normally they never gave me the time of day until then, and the weird thing is, once I started playing, the girl thing just kind of went to the side, because the music took precedent over the advantages,
the perks.
Yeah,
the perks. Yeah. Because at that point, I guess even the smart guys realize, look, the perks are going to be there, but it's still up to me to hone my craft.
Right.
I just don't want to be a cover guy.
Yeah. I've done originals just right off the bat. I mean, I started writing before I even started learning cover songs. Really, it just kind of was. It felt natural. Had good years and bad years, but I mean, every band I've auditioned for, I would always say, okay, now here's one of mine. I'd let them sit and listen to my tunes, whether they liked it or not,
Whether they like that. See, here's a cool thing about streamer. This is unthank. Greg unthank. I should have been a singer. Well, Greg, wait a minute. You say that. And I've shared this, Aaron, you just bear with me for a couple of minutes. I share this story every time. Almost every time. Greg would think it's every time. One of the, obviously you know Greg. Yeah. Greg's another badass local. I mean, just more importantly, he's just a great person. Yeah. First time Greg made an impression with me was during elementary school. During the school day, we go to the auditorium, and Greg and some of his friends doing a Kiss cover during school. During the day, he's up there singing Kiss. He's singing, and he's holding a cardboard guitar that he winds up breaking at the end. So rock and roll. But that was the first time I'd laid my eyes on Greg. And then, we fortunately just through school and stuff, because we both went to Manual, and I've known Greg for a while, so good guy. And so there's those kind of stories for me, because I'm just a music nut, and that's to this day one of my regrets is not playing the guitar or something. So, but I did play saxophone from like the 4th grade till the 9th grade. Hey, I was pretty good at it.
That's cool. Saxophone's cool.
But the problem was at Manual, even though they had we had a concert. In order to play, I was interested in the concert part, but you had to be part of the marching band too.
Oh, okay.
That part, and I did it one year, and no. So, I had to be one of the cool kids, on the bleachers watching the game, not on the field walking around with a saxophone. So influences. What was some of your musical influences?
Oh, well, it still is to this day the Beatles. I'm just a big Beatles fan, and then I just love. I miss the '70s because you could turn on the radio and you would have James Taylor, and then you would have Kiss. Mm-hmm. There was such a variety of music under the pop umbrella and you just don't have that anymore. I don't feel like you have that such a variety, a wide range on the radio like you did back then. And so there's, I loved Kiss. I love all those groups that were out, but I mainly probably, like I said, that was the Beatles. Mm-hmm. And then groups that like Badfinger and 10cc and those are still influences right now. And then when U2 came out, they're like number 2 for me. So they kind of
so Beatles is 1, U2.
Yeah.
Next? Really? Okay.
Yeah. That's it's also just the there's ones like Led Zeppelin and Journey and groups like that. They're always high on the list, but I think I see the Beatles influenced in those. Maybe not Zeppelin as much, but it was hard. It was hard to get away from the Beatle influence back then. But it's funny. The first gig I ever played acoustically by myself. Just a guitar. I played I can't remember, some little place in New Albany, and I had to leave the stage and stay in the dressing room. I played the set because I wasn't. They were drinking.
Well, because you were how old?
I was 15.
Oh, you were. This is when you're 15. Right.
Yeah. So I play a set and then go back and drink a Coke in the dressing room.
I know, but you have to admit at that point, because it's 21, a bar, right?
Yeah.
So there was 21-year-old chicks there too.
Oh yeah, it was. I got a picture of it. It's horrendous, man. I got a green satin shirt on, dude.
Oh wow! And the hair. You had some hair back in the day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's great. The one thing that I do love about this town is the music scene. There's a lot of talented people. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
by numbers, we're not, number wise with Nashville or some of the big cities, but there's just so much talent here, original talent,
Right.
that we don't get to see or hear a lot of unless you just, following someone on Facebook or you just know people. And that's where I've always said, man, I'd rather go into a venue and not know a song, but feel it. And so I'm always going to be a proponent for original gigs and stuff. So,
well, I a lot of my good friends like Doug Pinson, I write a lot with, and Carl.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And Carl, yeah.
Matter of fact, Doug and I, we have a single coming out next week that very traditional song called "Bourbon for the Hurtin'," and we probably write anywhere from 3 to 4 tunes a week. I mean, since the COVID situation's been up, all of my old writing channels have opened back up, and I'm writing with people from New York to Hawaii. We have a couple writes every day. But I tell Carl and Doug, if you do a few covers, then allow yourself to do one of your own, because number one, they're not going to know it unless you play it.
Right.
And give them a chance, tell a story behind it or where it came from, or to bring them into what that song's about. I just think that people are more receptive to it than you realize if you open it up to them. If you say, "Hey, I was thinking about this, and this is this little storyline, little, it's called setting the table."
There you go.
Song.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And bringing them into the song, and they'll like it. And I've noticed that with Carl, with his thing he does from the couch. He started playing more and more, and then they're requesting
the award-winning.
Yeah.
but
because he's presenting them and they're hearing them, they're wanting them. Right. I've always thought that the way to do original material is in this anywhere is just do it. What's the worst that can happen?
What is the worst?
You can play Wagon Wheel again.
Impromptu song for you to sing in a moment. Wagon Wheel. What? But you mentioned, I know with the Beatles and YouTube, is there more of a genre? What is your go-to genre?
Oh, I don't know. And I've been writing everything from, like I said, this country stuff to
right.
I just got through helping write a musical, 6 songs for a musical.
For real?
Yeah, for real.
Local or really?
Yeah, local. It's one about Joseph and Mary. If they came in this time period, what it would be like, and it's being filmed right now, and
no, this is part of church, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's legit. I mean, I'm very Ben Folds kind of music, but just like you see, like High School Musical stuff, is totally different territory for me because I'm not a big musical fan, but mainly pop stuff,
Right.
Maroon 5 kind of things, and then old throwback stuff that maybe sounds like Commodores or something like that. I like working for the song. When we craft a song in the studio, I want to work for that song and not like, oh, my sound or want it to sound like this. It's like, what is this creation? What is this song leading me into? And so they'll sound totally different from one song to the next. And I guess that's maybe because I like that 70s vibe where things are always different,
Right. Yeah.
From song to song. But it's got to be positive. Whatever it is, it's got to have a positive message. Something about me, I won't let me do the
sad songs.
Well, our songs that are, depressing
or
yeah,
political.
yeah. There's got to be some hope in those songs. Like even the song the tribute that I wrote for Doug, my buddy Doug Florio, that there's still hope in that song because it reflects the love that everybody felt about it. So even though it's bittersweet, there's still a positive message to it.
Cheers to Doug. He's friends. He's a lot of our friends, or a lot. He had a lot of friends here in town. So yeah, good guy. Miss that cat. Tell us about the whole church thing. You're a pastor.
Yeah, it surprises me every day.
Rock and roller.
Well, it was one of those things that I was living over in Indiana, and Mark Maxwell was a worship leader over at Northside and one of the bigger churches over there, and he was like, "Well, how come you aren't on my team?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I guess because you haven't asked me, because I didn't know what the procedure was." And he was like, "Well, okay, you're on next week." And so when I did it, I realized that this really fit, and it was kind of like I've always joked, this is why I survived the '80s was to do this. But it's been it's a struggle, because most people, if they know my background, which I don't, I don't try to hide that. Any place I've ever worked at, I've always said, here's what you're getting into. You're getting a guy on his third marriage who sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And I did it. Whatever.
This really is a VH1 behind the music. Now as a worship pastor,
Yeah, but it's I don't know. I don't lose sight of that person that I was. I don't want to lose sight of who that was, because I wanted to remind myself of where I came from on that. I always want to be able to recognize that the place that I was at in my life, because I mean, there's times that I look back on a lot of times and think, man, how did somebody was watching over you to make you get you through this life. I had a record deal for a while down in Nashville and with a country band, but I wasn't acting like a country star. I was acting like a rock and roll star. I was doing all kinds of drugs and drinking and everything you could possibly imagine. And we were on the verge of a major label deal with Arista. And
it's pretty major.
Yeah. Well, I had listened to a conference call with what's his name? Clive Davis.
Mm-hmm.
We were in the Tim Dubois' office, who's a VP of Arista in Nashville, and that's who we were auditioning, looking like to get signed for. And next thing I know, hey, somebody wants to talk to you, and it's Clive Davis. Hey guys, I really like what you're, I'm like, what?
It's Clive Davis.
So, but yeah, it got down to us and another band, and our producer produced Trisha Yearwood and Joe Diffie and people like that. And he said, I got to have your publishing for 2 years if this deal goes through. And I'm like, oh, what? Because that's where the money's at.
Yeah, in 2 years.
Yeah, that's the album life.
Yeah. And I've heard the horror stories where, some band, I guess because they'll do whatever, sign here to get that album out. And the fine print, at the bottom, that's 2 years. I've heard the stories. It's some are a lot longer than, or, they've relinquished their catalog, for or whatever. So,
yeah. So it was like, when the label found out that I was making stink about it, because me and the other guy named Kerry Kurt Phillips were the main writers of the band for the songs, and when the label found out, they kind of swayed to the other band. They were called Green River Boys at the time, and they became Diamond Rio later.
Wow, I've heard of them.
I didn't listen to too many Diamond Rio songs for a while. But the lifestyle I was living, if I'd have got a major deal, I would have probably been dead from drug abuse. I mean,
But give me a time frame. What year or time we're talking about?
Oh, about 88, 89. I'd gotten out of the rock and roll thing. I was with a band from the Evansville area, and we had an album out. Did really well. A band called the Neat Guys. I know it's a silly name, but the contest that Bon Jovi won with Runaway, we got 10th in that, and so we got a bunch of airplay and we like $15,000 worth of gear. And
isn't that the song that kind of just propelled them, shot them to superstardom, and they've not looked back since? That is a Runaway. Wow.
So I was things were going good. We were doing like a leg of with Henry Lee Summer when he first signed with CBS. We were doing part of his tour, and then I found out our guitar player was had a drug issue, a big drug issue, like, you know, grocery sack of stuff left in my car.
Left in your car. Was found? Or
I found it.
You found it, not the boys in blue or anything like that.
Yeah, it could have been, though. You know, I would have been pulled over like Mr. Train. That's not
mine.
Sure So I left that band, and then from there I started writing with a guy, and we kind of started down the Nashville road of writing songs and, you know, doing that kind of thing. So it was fun. I mean, but when I left Nashville after that record deal fizzled out, I just walked away. I don't even think I picked up a guitar for a couple of years. You know?
So guitar is your primary, because, you know, I've known you just lately. You know, you're on the key or piano keys.
Yeah, I love it because you write differently. I write differently on the piano, and it's just easier to haul a guitar around, you know, or I could, you know, rarely do I cheapen it and just become the lead singer. I've did that a couple times. It's kind of fun. You know, like when I sang with Alan Needham's that band Joshua Sky, the U2 thing.
That's right. He does. That's the other thing. I forgot about that.
I always joke about him. I was like, I come into our gig and go, "Who's got my mic?"
Who's got my?
But yeah, I've always played guitar in a lot of the bands, because in the 80s I was the keyboard player. You know, I was. You ever see those? I'm like 3-4 stacks, and you know, that's back when to get the new sounds, you had to buy a new keyboard. So,
all right.
Yeah, you know, I was like, you know, I got $5,000-6,000 in this gear. I can just pick up this $200 guitar.
It's funny you say about the keys and just stacking, and you're going. I was watching I had YouTube playing, and there's just songs coming on, and an old Yes song came on. Rick Wakeman, their keyboard, if you're familiar with Rick Wakeman. Yeah. You know, he's stacks and stacks, and it's everywhere, and you know, he's just got his fingers are a mile a minute, and that's some talent there. When you're writing music, I'm always curious to ask songwriters, do you is it initiated by lyrics, or do you start with music first?
It's kind of evolved into a different position since I've been writing. Like the last couple of years, it's been really developed a system, and especially with Doug and I have developed a system that we find a phrase that we like, and then we'll maybe like come up with a chorus. But we do something different. We treat these songs as movies. Okay, Like, all right,
storytelling. Right?
Here's our character. Okay,
Okay.
and we'll flesh out the character. Okay, he's a rich guy down on his luck. Why is he doing this? Just give him purpose, and then also now, why should the listener care about this person? This character.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually flesh out the whole character and why he's doing this. Like this one song we got, Bourbon for the Hurtin', okay. Guy comes home and he's not a bad guy. He's just not good at communicating, and he comes home to an empty house, and how's he going to react to this? That whole scenario of making a 3-minute movie and defining this character.
Right.
Now, that way, it's a lot different though when we do some sync license writing, where you just for like movies and stuff. It's totally different. That writing is based around 30-second clips.
Gotcha.
How can I make a song really cool and maybe not make sense really? It's not like that. It's not like a full story you tell out the sync license, the movie kind of stuff. It's like vibe and what's cool and how it's something catchy kind of thing. So it's a different mindset. But this process that I've come upon, and it's a lot the way the writers down in Nashville write too. It's not. I don't think it's selling out. We're not like trying to write, oh, this is going to kind of commercial and this is what, but we keep integrity in our songs, but we also want somebody to put them on the radio too. So we do.
I'm glad you brought that up because I've always heard this, people writing, I guess this has been their writing process and these are the certain types of songs. And then, a songwriter decides, you know what, let's try to write a hit. Let's try, can we write a song that could make it mainstream? And then you got people right away, you're selling out. Blah, blah. I don't get that. I really don't get it because to me, isn't that the end game for a singer songwriter or whatever to always progress?
I think so. I mean, I want my songs to be heard. No, I'm not going to just put out this like garbage. I want them to have and integrity and stuff. But I don't feel like I write totally formula kind of songs. That there's a lot of pop stuff that is out there, a lot of country that's out there. It's very formula.
Right.
But I think there's listening to what the song is telling you. Like the day Doug and I wrote this song, it could be on Toy Story. It's a very Randy Newman kind of fun.
I'm feeling it now.
Fun kind of song. You listen to it. It's I love it. Now the next song we did, it kind of had could have been like a Black Eyed Peas song. So I mean, we let the song.
Who's Fergie in this?
We let the song direct where it's going to go in a lot of aspects, and so it keeps a likability about it, but it also isn't just a cookie cutter kind of song that you'll hear. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I mean, it boggles my mind, or makes when people rag on Nickelback. It's like they sold 50 million albums. Somebody bought those.
Yeah, that's another thing too. That's be honest. There's people who will post shit about Nickelback. It's because it's the cool thing to do is to pick on. Yeah, but you're right. You go look at the guys are probably pretty well off financially. A lot better than a lot of musicians. Yeah, they've done their fair share of.
Well, what I like, this is actually the best thing that I like about Chad Kroeger and is the fact that
he writes for other people too.
Yeah, with his popularity, he could have got anybody in the world to play for him, but he kept the band that he started with.
Right.
I mean, he allowed them to stay as long as they want. I mean, who does that?
Right.
Most artists will. Okay, I'm writing all this. I'm singing all this. It's solo time. you know.
Mhm.
But he had some loyalty there. I mean, that's commendable nowadays. You know?
Very. That's a good example. Yeah, because he's a primary writer, probably not just writing, but he's probably writing the music too. You
Yeah.
know, yeah, I know a lot of bands like that, and but they stay true to when they could be a solo artist. You know, they still, you know, kind of dig the whole band thing. So, going back to Doug Pinhai was another thing with Doug. Doug's he's very talented. That voice is strong, and he's always putting some. Was like one of his designated drinker. I love his original stuff, and you know, again, that's just a testament on the talent that's in town, and got to find a way to. You know, now with COVID, are you finding that you have no excuse not to be able to turn around some of this music that's been noodling in your head for, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's actually this year I've put out either a solo or with somebody every probably 6 to 8 weeks. I just actually before I got on here, I finished up the artwork for a collaboration with Steve Katsakas, who
He's pretty damn good too.
it's so funny. It's a great story. I wrote
I
this.
love his album he just put out not too long ago. So
Oh yeah. But he's in the U2 thing, Joshua Sky, and so we got to be pretty good friends, and I sent him this song because this song's very Pink Floydish kind of progressive. I was just a vocal and a piano, and he's like, man, I really like that kid. Why don't you just send me the 2 tracks and just let me produce it, do what I want with it. I was like, all right, sure. So about a month later, he sends me back this track, and it sounds like it sounds like it come off an ELP or
yeah, he's talented. Yeah.
So it's scheduled to come out first December, and then Carl and me and Doug have a single coming out. I think the second or third week in December. Song called "Take That Shot" that we all wrote together. That Doug sang the lead on. So yeah, I mean,
who all was the writers on this?
Me and Doug and Carl Stuck.
Oh, Carl. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm all about collaboration, working with people. Gosh, I'm doing some more stuff with Kemet here in
she's pretty good too.
She's real good.
Yeah.
We did one for a local charity called Bridges of Hope, and we got the track done. I think the first of the year they're going to do a video for it, but I wrote the song and had Kemet sing it, and she actually I had her, her band, Bob and Eric. They played on it as well, and so I've got projects. I always try to get something out like every 6 to 8 weeks, and whether it does any good or if it's fine or if it doesn't, it's fine. I'm going to keep doing it.
You keep doing it because you love what you're doing.
Yeah.
Check us out. You see it from Doug.
Oh, but yeah.
Aaron's Fergie.
You wish.
Doug's a fun guy to hang out with too.
Yeah, good guy.
Let's see. Well, let's go back to the. How long has this church thing been a part of your life?
Oh gosh.
Are you seeing the light now, Aaron?
Probably I think it's about 12 years.
Is it?
12 years, I guess. Yeah. There's a lot of people that still, when I first started doing it, had issues with. Thought, well, maybe I was doing it. I even had people private message me thinking, "Are you just doing this for the money?" And what they don't realize is, I was a union electrician. I still am. Still, I got
You're
my,
like, no, I want to go to heaven.
I still got my dues. I still pay my dues, and they were like, "Oh, you're making the big money now." And it was like, "Yeah," I said, "I make about half as much as I did when I was an electrician." It's not about the money. It's a peace of mind, and I feel like that. I feel like this is where I should be. Influencing people. There's something that I have that I thought about, and I'm probably not the only person that thought this, but I realized that all music is praise music. All music. What it praises
Pretty fair.
is up to you.
That's a good point.
I mean, it can praise good things, good directly or indirectly, or it can praise bad things. And it works on both teams. So and that's why I've always wanted to be around music. There's band that always, like Foo Fighters, great example. Their music always lifts up. It might have some coarseness to the lyrics or something like that, but at the heart of that music, it's lifting up positive. So how could that not be a good thing?
That's fair. That's a great point. One of my all-time favorite bands, and I'm bringing this up because of how they were perceived when they first came out. Collective Soul.
Yeah.
The song "Shine."
Yeah.
People heard that and thought, what Christian rock band is this? Because of that. And they're one of my all-time favorite bands, and that's a guy, Ed Roland, who writes everything, and it could be the Ed Roland Band, but it's Collective Soul. But when you listen to a lot of his music, now granted, I know his story where his father was a pastor many years, and it just sounds like if you did not know the band, you would think that this is a Christian rock band, just the lyrics and everything. But to your point, it's uplifting. There's a good message there, whether you're into the church thing or religious thing or not, but it feels good, and that's not a bad thing.
No. And when I first started going into it, I started really researching and finding stuff that the fact that no matter whether they're rock star status or what, people still struggle with issues of spirituality. And there's some big ones out there that people don't know. The Pete Townsend song, "Let My Love Open the Door." When he released that song, he wanted to call it "Jesus Sings."
Really? I didn't know that.
He said that was when he became a Christian. That's what he felt Jesus was saying to him. And
wow.
Of course, his label went, "No, you cannot do that."
FM radio, not too friendly there.
But I did. You can find it on a compilation where it does actually list it as, in parentheses, "Jesus Sings."
Really? Okay. That's a great song too. I have to now look at it from listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, so to look at it that these people, no matter how rich or much they had going on, they still struggled with the same issues that everyone struggles with. Rod Stewart's "Forever Young," he wrote from Proverbs 26 because he said he felt like he dropped the ball on his older kids, not teaching them in a good way. And he said he wrote that song as a reminder to himself to do that with his younger kids to teach them right. So, I mean, to know like I said, to know that these people are just like you and I and anybody that struggles with their whether there is a God or whether there is not a God or how to treat anybody, having that focus on a positive message is the main, at the heart of it is that way. There's a big difference between a focus on a positive message and one that's just tearing things down. I think it's actually was I got that quote about all music being praised. It was Dylan, because they asked him what he thought about I think it was punk music. When punk came on this big scene on the scene, and they asked him what he thought about it, and he said, "There's two types of music: type that lifts up, type that tears down." And I thought, well,
That's fair.
yeah. So it made me think that way, and I mean, I don't know. Sometimes, like I said, I look at
You're saying you're not a big Sex Pistols fan?
I like some of their stuff, but I used to play that stuff.
No.
It's fun, fun to play. But then when I started some of the stuff, I listen to the lyrics and go, yeah, there's some madness going on there.
Yeah, but in their defense, they're letting out their steam, from a different perspective, and yeah.
Oh, so. I mean, and that's why I have two. I have 4 children, but I have 2 younger boys at home, and I don't worry about them being musicians, following in my footsteps. But I think, especially when they're teenagers, having an instrument, playing an instrument is a great release for emotions and things you're going through. I remember I got that guitar and started banging on a guitar. It was fun, and I felt like I was doing something, and but it also was an outlet for me emotionally that I maybe couldn't express myself with, using that guitar to do that with. So that kind of ties in with the thing with Doug Florio, with the fact of raising money for guitars. Being able to take went to 3 different schools with guitars for their music classes, because there's our music.
Really? Did you?
Yeah. I ended up giving had enough to buy 14 guitars.
Jeez.
And gave away to, I think the last one was to Westport Middle School for their orchestra department.
I got a pretty cool orchestra.
And I talked to the guy there, Corey, and I said,
Corey, Arthur? Wait,
his last name escapes me right now.
Go ahead. Yeah.
But I said, do you have people that maybe can't afford to have an acoustic guitar that would use it, and he's like, yeah. So to be able to, say, one of those 14 really latches onto it and makes a difference in their life. I mean, what's that worth? I mean, to me, that's worth a lot. And who knows? You don't know. You might be a future Doug Florio in the hand, holding one of those 14 guitars, which would be amazing. They might be 3,
Right.
So I think that I wish I could see more of that in our schools and in our educational system, is the fact that our music programs have just kind of fallen to the wayside. And I know it's money and all those kind of things, but maybe there's more private people like what I'm doing myself to try to help support that and increase that, because good music makes everything better for me.
No, I would agree. Speaking of what you're doing, what's all that stuff over your shoulder?
Oh, this is my studio.
I know. Yeah. Keep talking about it. What do you got going on over there?
Oh, I got a little bit of everything. I got all my old hairband pictures and the album.
You know Johnny Edwards? You know Johnny. Right?
I don't know him really well.
Okay.
I was kind of out of town when they were big, but I know Johnny too.
Or Buster Brown, but Greg's playing with them with Blues Punk.
Great band.
Yeah, and I've had Johnny on a few times, and I always tease him. Actually, I wound up screwing up a podcast we were on, because I went out, because he had a year or 2 run with Foreigner.
Right. Yeah.
So when he's on, I'll go, and I went this particular time. I went and YouTube and found a Foreigner video that was put out there, and I had to just play it just for the spandex, that his look. And then while I'm playing it, I get a freaking notice on Facebook that I'm playing a copyrighted material, and I had to go through all that hassle. But anyway, so I guess where I'm going with this, is there any pictures of you in spandex back in the day? Because you would have played during that time frame.
Oh yeah,
Do
yeah. There's all kinds of pictures. Yeah, I'm just glad cell phones weren't around back then. Nobody would ever hire me.
What would you have done if you say that, but social media, what would it have been like for you back in the day playing with social media?
Oh my gosh.
It's been a game changer for the good and the bad.
But, yeah. If I'd have been smart about it, it could have been something big, but knowing where I was at back then, I would probably been arrested.
Yeah, you been in your car, that little bag of whatever was in there,
and they would have been
live streaming. Look what I got.
They would have been a plethora of charges, I'm sure. Drug use, indecent exposure.
The police would have been, it's the crane kid again.
They just lock this guy away. Society can do without.
I know you got your studio, but you're also, there's the compound out there. Is how I've heard it.
I love it. It's when we bought this house about 6 years ago. Well, there's this other building, and I was like, "Man, that other house is awful close." And the realtor goes, "That's your garage."
Whoa! No! I'm gonna let you off the hook there. You literally, be honest, you thought this was somebody else's place.
Yeah, I thought it was another house, and it's built into a hill, so it's got a lower floor and an upper floor. And
is that when your realtor said, "Mr. Koresh, this is part of the Branch Davidian of yours"?
It's a 35 by 60, and so the top floor is I have music events. I've had people shoot their music. I've had like 4 or 5 people shoot music videos out there. We've had shows. I've even had a movie premiere out there because I have a 15-foot screen and projector, and so yeah, it's kind of like, and we have our Monday people party out there, and I got a full PA system and lights and bistro tables and chairs. I got it set up like a little club, and actually my thought is eventually I want to do like release parties. Talked a while back. I talked to Corey Brumbeck about doing one there. Corey's a good buddy.
Pretty good.
Oh, he's awesome.
That I still listen regularly to his latest that CD he put out. I guess 18 maybe.
Yeah. I got to play piano on here in Indiana on that
great song
album, and then I helped sing back up on, I think, Paper Dollars, I think.
It's such a cool song.
He records a lot with the guy that used to produce me a bunch, Michael Sanders. Michael, I used to actually write some with him, and also he produced a lot of my stuff. He's kind of getting into video nowadays more than he is the music side of things. But I still talk him into coming over and helping me every now and then.
Talk him in.
Yeah.
You got some over his head?
No. He's just a good friend. I went through 4 probably locations of his studios. He was in one place and it actually caught on fire. The place caught on fire next to him, and I went over and helped him pull all of his stuff out and clean the smoke off of it. Wow. Start it back up again. But yeah, he's I think I've worked with him since 2012 off and on, and now I'm up in Corden, Indiana, a lot with a guy named Jordan Bailey, who used to be partner with Michael back in the
gotcha.
So yeah, he's got a really nice place, and I've done some stuff over at Phil Bright's place. Phil's got a really, really nice
Louisville. What's that? Louisville
recording.
Recording. So, yeah.
The song for Doug dances on we did there at Phil's place. Yeah, it's a very, very good setup. And kind of go ahead.
No, it's just let's little segue to something you did recently. You put out a single,
Right?
just a couple 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. What was that about? Tell me.
You know, I belong to this songwriters group, and we'll get ideas. You know, somebody will choose a phrase, and then the phrase gets chosen, and then we write a song.
Is that what Carl? I remember Carl telling this story too. Is this
the same
group?
We belong that same group, and the phrase was out of here. And so I sit there and thought, you know, out of here, what could go out of here? And I got on. Okay, I'm writing about a young couple who want to get out of the little town, you know, a little small town. And I just, you know, went, like I said, I fleshed out the characters and then wrote the song. It's I feel like it's a very 90s kind of Gin Blossoms kind of vibes. Fun. I
like Gin Blossoms.
It's like a driving song. When I was listening to the mixes, I told my guy, I said, yeah, the mix is good because I found myself going faster than I should have.
And you should have, yeah.
So, and then I made I make in the last 4 or 5, I've been making the videos for them as well. I really enjoy making the videos for stuff. It's a more time consuming thing, but
when you say making the video, is in like creating, directing everything about the video. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah,
you're doing okay.
Yeah. The video. If you watch the video, that's one that I've done. I do. It's probably.
So that's your someone else is not.
No, it's me.
Okay, that's you. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and I'm actually. Doug and I are producing a couple songs for some other people, and we're not only producing songs, but I'm also part of the deal they're paying us for. I'm doing the videos as well. So it's fun, you know. Hopefully, that's our goal is eventually to maybe get a publishing deal, have a production company, and get a publishing deal as well. We're probably first of the year going to shop that down in Nashville because we've been writing with a few people down there. One guy who owns a small label down there already, so we've been writing with him on a regular basis, and you know, just trying to everywhere we can to get somebody to notice us. I figure the more I write, you know, I think, gosh, 60, anywhere from 60 to 65 tunes so far this year.
This year?
Yeah.
Are you shitting me? Good Lord.
I wrote like 74 last year, I think.
Wow. Oh, yeah. We didn't even have COVID. You didn't need an excuse to write that many, but well.
It's, you know, it's something I do. I usually sit at the piano first thing in the morning before I do anything else. You know, I try to. We got to write with, you know, Butch Rice.
I do. He's a genuinely sweet man. I love that cat.
We actually we have
too. Yeah.
We have Doug and I have a writing session booked with him tomorrow. And
here or where?
Just doing it over Zoom.
Okay. Is it Georgia? Where's he at right now?
He's in Nashville.
Nashville. Okay. Go ahead.
And so to you know, writing, he's one of the guys, my buddies. I love it, but I sometimes get that. Not that he does this, but some people like this. They go, well, I got to write. I'm not getting inspired. You know, I only write when I'm inspired, and I just want to smack them upside the head and go like, "Are you inspired now?" You know, you have to create a work ethic because it's a craft.
Mm-hmm.
If you wait till you're inspired to do it, it's too late. You have to it's like a muscle. You have to work at it every day.
Are you discounting writer's block?
If you have writer's block, write about writer's block.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
There's always way, or find you in a different environment, or pick up a new instrument, or there's always ways to circumvent that. Because there's times that have had that where I'm like, I feel like it's not really writer's block as much as like, I did this. I've already written this song.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'll pick up a book, or I'll read a story, or I'll watch a movie, or there'll be something that'll pull you out of that. But if you get into a habit of it, okay, I'm gonna tell on myself. Today was the day our song was due for the Songwriter group. It's every 2 weeks.
You say was, so are you saying it didn't get met?
No, I'd sit down. I wrote one in 20 minutes.
Oh, you did? Oh, you see now? Wait a minute. Now you're showing off.
No, it's just like,
I'm kidding.
you get into a frame of mind, and okay.
So in a 20-minute song, how good did you feel about this song?
It's decent. It's decent. And that's the thing with song. Another thing with songs too is I try to tell people, and who knows? I don't have any Grammys on my wall yet, but
I like it yet, but you will. You're going to check it out. It's Tracy says about the 5 p.m. writing session. What's that supposed to
be? We wrote the song called that's called the song, and
not to be confused with bop.
No, but it's fun. It's a fun song. You want to get a song 80% there, let it set, and then come back to it and go, all right, is this worth chiseling out? Because if you spend all your time trying to perfect this song, it might be a piece of crap. Right. You might be wasting your time on it. There's a lot of times. I mean, honestly, the big people I wrote with down in Nashville, they would tell you 80% of the stuff we write is mediocre. 10% of it's good. The other 10% is real good. And these are, big time writers, and then that's what they'll tell you. They'll say that the majority of the stuff, that was always a joke. How do you write a hit song in Nashville, or write 100 crappy ones?
Because the law of average.
Yeah, I mean, you have to do it. You can't just, you have to make a habit. Okay, at 10:30 every day, I'm going to write for 15 minutes. Do it. Mm-hmm. And then you'll find out, oh, well, I'll write for 30 minutes today. I mean, you'll start getting better at it the more you do it. And that's, to me, that's the whole secret of it is persistence, is developing a habit, a work ethic, basically, of,
don't reflect on those 2 shitty ones out of the 100,
Yeah, well, exactly, because everybody writes,
or 98 shitty ones or whatever. But yeah,
and you never know, because sometimes you're too close to it. A friend of mine, Delee Daniels, she is actually the Diane of Jack and Diane.
Really?
Yeah. I used to hang out with her back in the day. When that album was out, or the album was out, she called up, hey, John's going to be in town. You would go out riding around. He'd come in his 55 Chevy, and we go riding around.
So you hung out with her back in the day?
Yeah, she was good.
So at that time, it wasn't a ditty. It was the moment, because the song.
Well, it was from back when they were younger.
Oh, okay.
But that's the story. She said, yeah, John called me and said, yeah, I recorded this song about us, and I don't really care for it, and now they want it to be the single. I don't want it.
Isn't that crazy?
He goes, like, I don't even want it. He goes, I don't even think I want it on the album.
I've heard that. I heard Steve Lucas, total guitarist.
Yeah.
He just in an interview, and it's honestly guilty pleasure. Toto, one of my all-time favorite bands. They're all musicians. And he's telling the story that how much he hated Africa.
Yeah.
Never thought it was going to be it. Not this song.
Yeah.
And then, it's still.
Yeah. So,
go ahead.
So you can get too close to them. There's songs that I think, wow, they should really love this song. And and then they'll go for. I'll get on Spotify and go, oh wow, they like that one, So that's sometimes, like I said, you can be too close to a song and not know really how it's affecting people. Doug and I have a few songs like that where he'll play them out live, and then they're like, wow, they really they really like that. Wasn't expecting that,
Doug's a great performer. I mean, his voice. I tell you, he doesn't get enough props for his. It's so strong, and he can sing a lot of stuff. And have you been able to play anywhere like out recently, or?
I've been. I'm kind of like the pinch hitter up at Huber's Orchard.
That's right. That's right.
Honestly though, I haven't. Since this has been going on, I really haven't been.
But not a full, like a consistent. Yeah.
I've been pursuing a lot of the gigs because, number one, I know my musician friends need the jobs, and I don't really need that as far as my income right now. So I usually pass on those. I usually only pick up stuff where somebody's canceled out and they need somebody to come fill in. And that's mainly what I do. And anymore, even before then, I was mainly doing private gigs because, I can't drag home at 3:00 in the morning anymore. Like when Carl and I were, used to play Phoenix Hill with Strumbeat, and you get
great band.
Yeah, you get done at 3:00 in the morning and get up at 6.
All those days.
Yeah, I don't miss any of that.
But you kind of do. Maybe a little. It is.
It's fun to visit.
History, Phoenix Hill, Border.
It's fun to visit that. And like I said, I look back and.
Did you make your Toy Tiger run as well? Did you play gigs?
Oh yeah. I played a lot there I sang with the Blitz Kids.
Okay, good.
And I'm trying to think of the first rock club I played around here used to be a club in Jeff, the Garage.
Oh yeah, I remember the Garage. Yeah.
And then I don't think I ever played. No, I did play the Heartwood Tavern one time. Then I went off to college and kind of lost track of the rock scene around here. I was in there's a band from Indianapolis. They're kind of like a show band kind of thing. Endless Summer. They play everywhere. The guitar player, me and him played in a college band together.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
So yeah, it's funny when you go back. My wife, one time I sit down on YouTube and showed her all these people that I'd throughout the years have been in. I was in a band with Bruce Bouillet, who was in Racer X and the Scream. I was in a band with Sean McNabb, who was in he was in Quiet Riot for a while, and he's also in House of Lords, and I can't remember what other band he was in. But there, throughout the years, there's been a lot of people like that. I actually have a cassette tape of Andy Timmons from Danger Danger, and who was from here,
Right. Yeah.
And Bruce Bouillet trading off licks at a club in Evansville.
That's great.
I think Bruce was maybe 18 years old, but he was still phenomenal. It was funny. Shane from the Crashers. I was kind of in a band with those guys, with Jesse and all those guys before the Crashers came about. They were in a band called Voodoo Lounge.
Right.
And they asked me to come over because Steve was leaving and asked me to come over. So I rehearsed, I don't know, half a dozen times with him. And Shane found out that I'd been in a band with Bruce. He's like, he was my teacher at GIT. I was like, yeah, he was really good. But yeah, he was a guy that would not go out on dates if we didn't have a gig and rehearse. He would literally sit down and rehearse 6 to 8 hours. And so it's like with the songwriting. You want to get really good at it. You want to get really good at guitar. You do that, 4 or 5 days a week. You're gonna get really good, or your hand's gonna fall off.
And you're right. I remember having this conversation with someone the other day, and I don't know how it came up, but I remember my response is the Maxwells, how important they have been to the music scene here. That
Well,
name, yeah. No,
you know,
musically, the store, and just everything.
you
And,
know,
you know,
love them or hate them. You know, I mean, they are.
I'm good with them.
Yeah, I am too. You know,
Yeah.
actually, Mark just called. He called me like a few days ago and was asking me about something, and I was bugging him about getting his songs out there because he's finally starting to get over that fear of what are people going to think about these, or it's that there's like if I put out a video on YouTube, I'm not happy until I get somebody to dislike it. It's like
How so? Why? Explain that. Why
they're being real. They're being real about it.
are they?
Are there? I feel like they're okay. I don't like that. Fine. Well, cool. You made a choice.
But isn't that fair though? The other way around, just because they like it doesn't mean they're just like it because I like Aaron Crane. Maybe they like the song. I mean, they generally like the work.
Yeah, but I feel like if you don't get the negative side of things,
that keeps it real. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I get it. Yeah,
you're never going to if you try to please everybody, you're not really. It's not going to work. You got to be willing to somebody go, no, I don't like that, and then maybe even elaborate on why they don't like that, and you have to be able to take that,
right?
Because
it's okay to please yourself every now and then too.
Yeah, so I mean, and that's what especially it's so funny with Carl. I've known Carl forever. We
love him.
Yeah, we've been buddies forever, and I remember the first time he hated it when I made him sing. He'll tell you otherwise, but when we were in a band together, I was like, "Come on, man, you got to sing a couple. You can do it." He was he just hated it when I made him sing a song, and I was like, "You can do it. You're a good singer. You can." And now look where he's at.
Now he can't stop doing his 6:30.
And I'm not saying that I had any hand in that, but just the fact that
you were you're pushing him.
Yeah. It has he's kind of got that a little bit like a perfectionist attitude about things, and man, it ain't ever going to be perfect. That's I tell you what though, nowadays I don't care where you're at, what gig I'm doing, somebody's filming you, and it is a little unnerving.
That's a fair point. That is a fair point. Yeah.
I get home from the Ubers gig last Saturday, and that's fine. I don't mind it, but
you're subdued. You're not doing anything over the top there.
No, but I'm just saying, you're thinking like, oh crap, I want to, because you don't want a bad note just hanging out there, and so it's like I've had places, we've been in places before, like, oh, there's like 6-7 people here, and next thing I know, somebody's doing this. I'm like, are you kidding me? Give me a break.
Is Aaron calling out Rick Hayes in his video? No, I'm kidding. That's my memory. Yeah, no.
Rick,
you bring up. What is your take when it comes? Because I had this conversation with someone the other day when they're doing gigs out. This was actually, I take it back. This not recent during COVID, but before. He hated someone live streaming their gigs because he felt that it took away from the audience that came to see it. He looked at it from a different perspective, like it was catering to people who
wouldn't get out of the house.
And then, because I remember this has been several years ago where he shut someone down. He stopped during a song to tell them to stop videoing because he felt that it was not cool for, who was there. And so that part, I kind of get, but same time too, you want your audience to grow. So
Yeah,
someone video wise who's going to see you that hadn't heard you before.
exactly. And then there's do you want to do it every night, every show? You know, it's a little different. Like with Carl's, what he's doing is um you know, it's not real long, and especially now it's kind of needed right now because there's not much out
He's
there.
consistent about an hour each night.
Yeah. So, but as far as live, I mean, I think the only thing that really sometimes it's bothersome if how invasive they get. If they kind of just hang back, I have no issue, you know, with that. But sometimes I could see sometimes it would be a problem if they're right there in front of you, you know, with it. So, but you know, that's part of the thing. I mean, if you get to another level, do you think that's going to stop? No, it's going to increase.
Right, exactly.
You know, so I don't know. I can see where people might have a problem with it a little bit, but I can't. You know, publicity is publicity. You know, if they're getting your face out there and get now, if you're having a really bad night, you know, or cold, and I always take that in consideration. You know, with
You know, that's fair. I didn't think of it that way. That
Yeah.
maybe this particular night he was not on his A game, so he knew that it was going to be less than.
yeah.
So maybe, okay, that's fair. I'll
I
give
mean,
you
I
the
get
benefit.
that. I understand that you don't know somebody's what they're going through, their situation, or they might, you know, they might have been celebrating a little bit too much. You know,
I'm like, dude, are you on witness protection? What are you not supposed to?
but speaking of that, actually, Doug and I have a thing that we're trying to get into the works because we write so much. We're going to do like a segment where we sit down here in my studio and go, okay, this is this month's songs, and go through the originals that we've done and maybe the backstory behind them and how we come up with them and
That's
just,
cool.
Just encourage people to be more receptive to originals. If there are more originals coming out on Facebook and around, the more they're going to be receptive to it out, you know, out from here. I don't know. I was in that band Hush Harbor for a while, and a couple years ago, and when they approached me, I was just going to be their writer, and I said, okay, if you want me to be the singer, we got to at least do 80-20 right off the bat.
Good.
And after that's what we did that, and most of our stuff was mainly original. I think by the time I left a couple years, we were playing 1 hour all original shows, production included, making a lot more money than anybody playing 2 or 3 days somewhere.
Good.
And we were selling we had 2-3 songs on the radio. We were selling a ton of CDs and all that kind of stuff. But it was, you know, we stuck to our guns on that. It's difficult sometimes because you want to please. Oh, I know if I play this song, they're gonna love this. Well, have that same attitude with your own song. You know, hey, this is what this song's about. I'm going to tell you in 30 seconds why you gonna love this song. You know,
I like that.
yeah,
Check this out. Do you Culligan?
Yeah.
Are you missing letters from your phone? I had to look at this twice and right. What is he saying?
I don't know.
Excellent is what he's trying to say.
Oh, awesome. Is this the kids lingo nowadays?
I guess. I mean, unless Cully, you got letters that are missing. I had to read that. I had to actually just say it out loud. Excellent.
Yeah. Well, that's his drumming. That's excellent.
Yeah, he's a pretty good guy. All right. Well, let's round third and head for home here. Some rapid fire questions for you. Play along. First concert.
Foghat.
Oh. Foghat.
All right.
It's slow. Yeah. What was another one? Full? Is that Full for?
Yeah, Fool for the City.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. If you had a superpower, what would it be?
Oh gosh, man.
I don't know. Now that you can cut your hair off, does it diminish any of your strength? Or
Superpower. To give people peace.
let me segue or put the rapid fire on hold for a second. I got to ask you, because I wouldn't be a podcast host if I didn't ask this. This last week was a big freaking deal for us in the States. How was your week this past week? Did it go as planned or not go as planned, or without getting too political?
I don't know. I think that's a difficult one. I mean, if you or I were put under scrutiny that any politician is put under, how would we fare?
That's a fair question.
How would JFK fare? And with the constant bombarding of digging for nuggets and digging for it's not what is it? It's not truth. It's important. It's who gets the story first.
Yeah.
So are there? I'm hopeful. I'm always hopeful for whoever gets in there. But honestly, I think that we have more power than we realize, and it also accentuates the fact that our culture looks at a cult of personality. The personality of Trump, personality of Biden, any of those. That is the focus, and because honestly, if you get down to it, I should be more concerned about who controls a House of Representatives and the Senate.
That's a damn good point.
And here's the thing: if I could ask anything, if I could make it the polish, any of them do anything, it would be term limits.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you.
And limiting campaign spending.
That and to come clean about aliens. Just saying.
I mean, because come on, you're going to spend $100 million. You're spending $100 million for a job that pays what?
Exactly.
And so there's reasons why that. So I think term limits. If you go into office and as a senator or a representative, I'm going to get 2 terms and that's it.
I got to get shit done.
You're going to get work done.
Yeah, you would think.
But you get ingrained in there. I don't care how good your morale is or how wonderful of a person you are. You're going to get poisoned by the system that's in place.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess I looked at this election. I'm relieved that it's kind of over. I'm hoping that it is over, but I think that we as a people can do better looking out to our neighbors and taking care of our own neighborhoods and not being so influenced by what we're seeing on the screen and what media is telling us to think. And because I think you get in touch with the people you live around, you're going to find out that you have more in common with them and more positive things in common with them than not.
Totally.
But
what I've struggled with in the last 4 years, and this is not I'm not bashing, though people know kind of where I stand, is that in the last 4 years, I can have 9 freaking things that me and you, as a general statement, agree on. But then if I say the first negative about the president, then we're it's game on. You're ready to fight because that one thing. And we're all better than that.
Yeah,
we are.
well, you can't. I mean, my wife and I don't agree on it. I love her to death, and that's the thing. You got.
Are we getting this on record? You love your wife.
But we don't. But
Mrs.
we
Crane,
don't.
he loves you.
We don't agree on everything.
That's healthy. Yeah.
How boring would it be if we did? It's like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like these people don't know family. I love family.
Most important.
And in the same aspect.
Begins and ends with my day begins and ends with family.
But there's family I don't like.
And there is family.
But I still love them.
But you still love them, yeah.
But I don't like them.
Right.
So we should be able to do that with other people. Like to care and love for somebody, even though you don't really like their actions or what they're doing. That's their deal. How, for me to be offended by the way they're living their lives or what they're doing, I mean, that makes no sense. I need to take care of my own self and what I'm doing, and then more than I do someone else. No, I mean, it's different.
Get your shit home. Get your shit straight at home first before you start.
So I look at that it really is a bothersome thing that I cannot disagree with you. That if I disagree with you, that means I hate you, and which is
exactly
it's nowhere near.
It's
nowhere near close. I mean, I got dear friends that we do not agree on a lot of things, the same things, or very few things. But as far as what they are inside and what kind of person they are, that's the person. That's who I love.
That's right. Fair. I'm with you.
It's not their policies. It's not their.
This is actually got Ron, who I do actually. I met Ron. One of my other podcasts I do 3. One of them is a paranormal podcast, and so he does his own show, and so if you I'm sorry, I should start with this one first. There it is. Would you be willing to come around? Ron, reach out to Aaron. This is one of the talented cats, Ron, in our town, and that would be a great conversation. So reach out to him.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, getting back to the rapid fire, where we said, did you say superpower? What did you say?
Give people peace.
Oh yeah, there you go. If you were stuck in an elevator with a celebrity, who would it be? Alive.
So a live celebrity?
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman.
Just so he can narrate your VH1 behind the music story.
I've actually hung out with him.
Are you shitting me?
No.
Really?
Yeah. Him and Denzel. And I was on the movie set, Glory.
Mm-hmm.
And we played the end of the rap party when they filmed there on Jekyll Island. I was living on.
Oh wow!
I was living on. Our producer had us on Jekyll Island writing the material for the album, and
that's cool.
So we were.
That's a great story.
Yeah, it's like meeting Morgan Freeman's like meeting his characters. He's like, well, hello. It's awesome, man. I sat there and talked to him for a while.
He was God in Bruce Almighty. Just saying. So, all right, let's see. Pet peeve. Give me something that just annoys you. Besides being interrogated by a podcaster.
Oh gosh. I don't know.
You don't seem to be someone who's easily triggered. Are you?
No, there's not a whole lot that I don't know.
Okay.
Pet peeve. I guess
during a gig, something. What would? All right, let's stay with that. If you're out doing a gig, what would be the one thing that would just drive you crazy?
Band member late. It's just the way I was raised.
Even the guy that shows up and says, "Where's my microphone?"
I was raised. If you're on time, you're late.
If you're on time, you're late. Yeah,
so that really, I've showed up at clubs before, and the owner goes like, "Are you really a musician? Because you're here awfully early."
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If you had access to a time machine, it can go anywhere in the future. Future. Give me a time frame where you would go in the future.
Oh gosh. Wow. Time frame in the future.
How far ahead would you want to look? Be a part of?
To see my grandkids married.
Oh, that's sweet.
That would
That's
be
fair.
that would be good enough for me.
Yeah. All right. If you could, this one's a little heavy. If you could trade 1,000 tomorrows for one yesterday, and that yesterday is you're going back to a moment, what would that moment be?
I already know.
Bring it.
One time when I was out fishing with my dad, and my dad's a very very close kind of person, and we were looking for this fishing hole. He couldn't find it. We couldn't find it. It was a beautiful sunny day, and out of nowhere, he starts telling about his childhood. He had to quit school at 12 years old to get a job to take care of his brothers and sisters. His dad passed away. So he starts spilling out all this stuff about his childhood and about being over in the war during World War II and all this being in battle and all these things and all the stuff he had to deal with. I mean, it was like a valve opened, and I learned more about my father in 2 hours than I learned in my whole life.
Gotcha.
And so to be able to have another day like that, or that day extend, because my father just passed away in the spring this year.
Gotcha.
So to be able to have that moment again, because I mean, literally, I that's the most my dad ever talked I've ever in my entire life, and it was like he was like talking to me like a friend would talk to me, and I don't know what prompted it, but it's probably my favorite memory.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, man. Great conversation. We went a little longer than maybe we planned, but good stuff. Where could people connect with you? You've been putting out music. Is it just
any
Facebook?
any digital place like Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, YouTube, just about any of the digital sites that the music's getting out there. Like I said, Doug and I got a thing coming out next week. We wrote with another local writer, Ursula Ratliff. We did a co-write with her, but if you like, it's like if you take George Strait and mix it with the Eagles.
Oh,
kind of vibe. It's called Bourbon for the Hurtin', and very, it's just great because it's like you're in a time machine when you hear this song.
Make sure you tag me on all that stuff you put out there.
And so that and the one we did with Carl, Take That Shot already. I'm in the process of putting the video together for that one because we filmed some out of my place here last week. So I'm trying to edit and get the video together for that. And I'm thinking December maybe for that release. But yeah, we're just moving full steam ahead. And actually, we got one coming out soon with a guy we wrote in Hawaii. A tune that might not come out till January, the first of the year. So that's our plan. Is to try
to get every 6 weeks is what you're saying, right?
Wow. 6 to 8 weeks trying to get nice. a musical piece out there, and see what it does. Keep Very fishing.
Cool. There you go, Aaron. Man, thanks so much for hanging out with me. All right, good stuff. A lot of good stuff. Wish you well, and let's do it again soon.
Okay, thanks, man.
All right. Take care.
See you,
Aaron Crane. That was a good segment. First time I really got to chat with him. So good podcasting tonight, guys. Aaron Crane, check him out. Very talented musician. Ron, send him your stuff. He'll chat with you. So thanks, Doug. Good to chat with you. Miss you, brother. Aaron Crane. Again, very talented cat. So thanks for hanging out with me, shooting from the lip, podcasting on Sunday nights, live streaming. I do my sports show on Monday nights, Round of Shots, and my paranormal show, Universal Secrets, on Tuesday nights, all live. Peace out, my friends. Peace and love. Take care of each other. Show some compassion. Be nice. Later.